I think I'm going to start with practice. I know I said like circle the top thing in your domain, but I think I might have to edit that because these are basically all projects. And there's nothing wrong with having a top goal that's a project. And according to David Allen of Getting Things Done, a project is just a set of tasks that are grouped together, which is why in your monthly thingamabobber, your projects have steps that are together. So more than one related step is a project instead of like a one and done thing. So the top goal for practice that I put out was my budget planner. So let's see here. I'm going to think about the wording. All right. So after thinking about it, I wrote, write, illustrate, and publish BQ workbook in order to broaden my offerings and move toward making a living from my work. So this way I carefully avoid setting a specific price, not price, but like $200 or whatever. I did have actually $100, $200, $500 as like good, better, best. But you know what? We're starting out here and I just want to get it done. I think that's the thing. I can't expect to write an entire book. So the first draft is basically done. I really should do more research because this is the thing. If I'm making this workbook about budgeting, it should probably teach people how to budget. And I should probably look up some more stuff about that. I'm in the middle of multiple books, reading them, so I should finish those. All things that I should be writing down, of course. Specific. Who, what, why, when, where, how. Is this a one and done goal? A project involves more than one step or a habit? So who is involved? Ready? Who? Me. What? Workbook. When? Oh, why? So why is actually over here. Why do I want to do this thing? Because I want to hopefully make a way to make budgeting fun. As you can see, this is just very related to my one project. So that's a problem. Anyway, we're going to move on. Why is over there. So when, by Christmas, where. So I do want to do a wide release for this. So I'll have to publish through, I think, Ingram Spark instead of just doing it through Amazon because they can then publish to Barnes & Noble and Amazon. So this means that I have to go over the Publish and Thrive course again in those areas. I could also query an agent. I guess I'll write agent, ? And this is a project, and I have many projects under this goal, this category rather. Where, how? How will I work on this? I will illustrate on iPad and publish wide. Measurable. What does the successful completion of this goal look like, feel like? How do I know when it's complete? When I have a finished book in my hand and on shelves, I guess. I guess that's the good thing about having a physical goal or a goal to make something physical. Attainable. What resources does this goal require from me? Do I have everything I need to start, or is there something missing? I still need to read a few books that I think would be useful for this project. So there was I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. And then I think the book is called something like How to Save Money When You Don't Have Any or something like that. So those are the two big ones. I'm already partway, or I started reading I Will Teach You to Be Rich a few years ago. I think in 2020 actually. And when I started this, and I just haven't finished because I have got a squirrel brain. So realistic. What is the hard part of this goal? What's the scary part? What do I actually have control over here? What is beyond my control? All right, the hard part, motivation, which you get from actually doing the thing and not waiting for the motivation to happen. Great. The hard part is the motivation, getting over my fear of making art or making bad art. What is the scary part? Making bad art, I guess. What do I actually have control over here? I can control my process. I cannot control if people buy it. Also, fighting that I don't know enough yet. That's one of the hardest things. I think that comes from a lot of the perfectionism. So another big fear of something like a budget book, what if I say the wrong thing and I give the wrong advice and that hurts somebody financially? That's a really big phobia for me. So I will try to work on things as I am reading instead of reading all the things and then working on it, just so I'm having some kind of momentum here. Aligned. Does this goal violate my values or boundaries? So going back, that's compassion, creativity, right? And curiosity. So the question for this project is, what if budgeting was fun? How about that? And how do I make it fun? Because I find it dreadfully boring, personally. So no, it's perfectly aligned because I would like other people to be able to feel empowered with their money and have fun. So what values? So compassion, because I'm making it for other people. Curiosity, because I'm asking questions and inviting you to also ask questions. And also creativity, because I'm drawing stuff. All right, what will I not do in order to reach this goal? I will not get into spirals about having to make it perfect. I will try my best with what I have, and if I need to, I can always make an updated version. Sustainable. Where will I face resistance? What is my plan for rest and replenishment while I work on this goal? Facing resistance, obviously, this is going to be this thing with the spirals, perfectionism. So, and art and procrastination, because I will admit I don't know everything, and I can't write a book where I claim to know everything either. I only know things from my own perspective. So I'm going to do my best. All right, so my plan for rest and replenishment while I work on this goal, so Clown Town for art, because then that is also support, because this will count for accountability. And what specifically does support look like in this instance? This will count for accountability, which means someone there to make sure I'm doing my work, basically. So check-ins, I guess. All right, so that's all for this one project. I already have all of this other blue stuff that's going to be dumped into here. Over here, I'm just going to dump the rest of the blue things over here. So obviously I've got the goal planner over here. Another thing that I could have done for practice, which I think I did last year, was like broaden my offerings and move toward making a living from my work. So I literally could have just taken out this part about the workbook. So that's very broad. And then you break down how you're going to do it and what you're going to do. The what over here is your projects. And there you have it. And honestly, I think this project is going to be my smallest thing. So set your bar. This is new for this year, by the way. Set your bar. What is the smallest thing you'll need to accomplish in order for you to feel satisfied with your progress on this goal by the end of the year? So honestly, it's difficult because I have a recurring project in this planner. So I have to get the 2026 version done. So that's a little tricky. So I would say just get my planners done. That is my bar because that's an established thing that I'm maintaining. And it's important. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. You can also set a maintenance goal, which I didn't have here. Because if you have something that's working really well, maybe you want to keep doing it. It's not always about growing new things. Sometimes it's just about maintaining things. And honestly, that's what my connection thingamabobber is all about. So one thing that I want to do for next year's planners is do a new cover or new covers, which I wanted to do last year, but didn't get to it. All right, so I'm just going to put the planners in my bar because I'm going to get really upset if those don't get done. If I don't get this workbook done, then that will be okay. So the lowest bar for the workbook, how about that? I'm going to split it up. Ready? The lowest bar for the workbook is to finish the writing part. So that doesn't include the illustration or the publication of it. But otherwise, as a whole, I want to do the planners for next year. And this will morph as I go along. Great. Okay, so that's basically how you do this. I might have explained this in a better way in a different video, but hopefully people will understand. And I'm gonna just finish doing this and then I'll get back to you when I'm done, okay?
2 weeks later.
It is now a few days later, or maybe even a week or two. This took a lot of time. I haven't been my best, but I got through it. But anyway, my top goal for connection is to nurture existing relationships in order to build a rich community and safety net. As I've mentioned in previous videos, my parents are going to be moving to my city. So that means I will be spending more time with them. It means my day-to-day and week-to-week schedule and time and stuff like that is going to be changing from what it has been for the past 15 years, let's say. So the reason I want to do this thing, the why, is community is everything, especially right now with how everything is in the US. So my specific for the smartass framework, I'm thinking about doing a light version to try out because I was not big brain when I was doing this and I found it a little bit tedious. So I'm looking to lighten things up for next year. If you are with me, let me know. So specific, who, what, why, when, where, how. Is this a one and done task, a project which involves more than one step, or a habit? So this involves my family and friends, and this is going to be a habit because I want to make time to go see my people. M is for measurable. What does the successful completion of this goal look like and feel like? How do I know when it's complete? I'll be hanging out with people more often, especially my parents, and getting outside I think is going to be one of the benefits of going to my parents' house because the house they bought has a little playground thingy and we don't have that at our house. So my daughter will love that. A is for attainable. What resources does this goal require from me? Do I have everything I need to start, or is there something I'm missing? So this is going to be time and energy, and I just need mom and dad to finish moving so that I can eat all their cookies and raid their house. R is for realistic. What's the hard part of this goal? What is the scary part? What do I actually have control over and what is beyond my control? So the hard part is going to be time and energy management and boundaries. We haven't lived close to each other in at least 10, 12 years, something like that. 15? I don't know, something like that. And so as much as I love my parents and I want to hang out with them a lot, I also want to make sure that I'm getting my own work done. T is for time bound. When do I want this done by? What are the checkpoints and milestones? Note, you'll break down your milestones on the opposite page, but don't set your due dates until after you read the next section. After that, you will funnel your milestones, tasks, and projects into your quarters, months, and weeks and days. I prefer to keep my due dates loose until I get to the quarter or month that I want to do the thing in. A is for aligned. Does this goal violate my values or boundaries? What values does this goal uphold? What will I not do in order to reach this goal? This is obviously compassion because it's people related. S is for sustainable. Where will I face resistance? What is my plan for rest and replenishment while I work on this goal? So I will face resistance with seeing people I might not want to see. And that is also the scary part of this goal. And then I will have to take introvert time for myself after I spend a lot of time with a lot of people in order to recharge. And then the last S is for support. Who can I get support from with this goal? What specifically does support look like in this instance? So friends and family, and to get together and hang out. That's what that looks like. So over here, it says, nice work. Now you can break down your top goal for this domain below to determine all of the little steps, tasks, actions that are involved in this goal. If it's a one and done, then you've got it easy. You're going to determine your milestones. These can come in the form of projects, meaning they involve more than one interrelated subtask, one and done tasks, or habits, which repeat on a schedule of your choosing until ingrained or until you don't want to do it anymore. Group related tasks together to form your projects. In my thing, I didn't do that very well, but this is how I note my projects with the little L bracket here. I also made a few mind maps, I think, somewhere. So you can mind map it out if you're doing projects. You could just list it. Here's another one. Or you can do an L bracket like I did. That's how I do it in my bullet journal as well. Or my planner, whatever. When I'm doing the Alistair method, I'll make, a dot with the task. And then if I have a subtask, I go like that and then make a new dot. And then this is a subtask. Ta-da. Anyway, so what I did is I went through my planner from last year, this one, and I went through all of my goal pages and I picked out the things that I didn't get done, and I decided whether I wanted to try again this year. And then I wrote them down, and then I wrote a couple of things down that were new. And with my mom so close, arts and crafts with grandma and the kids, I think that's going to be very fun because she's very crafty. I did want to try to help her start her own Etsy shop. Now that I'm close enough, I can help her with taking pictures and stuff like that. So this year I also have set your bar. What is the smallest thing you'll need to accomplish in order for you to feel satisfied with your progress on this goal by the end of the year? So I said, have my kids' autism tests and diagnoses all squared away. So Callie's paperwork is paused right now because her teacher's out of school, and Stunny is still going through his paperwork. So I have until next month to get those in because our provider is leaving the facility or whatever. So I want to make sure to prioritize those. So that's all taken care of. I'm not going to bother reading all of the stuff because it's going to take too long, but I will go over a few things, and I'll probably not go over the whole framework, or maybe I will, I don't know. Top goal for rest and well-being. Tend to physical and mental health by cultivating better habits and following through 60% of the time. Because I'm not trying for perfection, I just want to do better. Why do I want to do this? My physical health is getting worse as far as my weight and being a slug and a shut-in. So another thing that I wanted to get, I want to see if I can get a diagnosis for either fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome, or because I think whatever is going on with me, it's more than just my hypermobility. And I'm having a lot of those boom or bust cycle issues where yesterday I ran errands. And I feel like a few years ago, I wouldn't have been so affected, but I went to 2 stores and I walked around and I went to my parents' house and then came home. My body was on fire, agony. And that's not normal. And it's more than just my joints. It's like a total body pain. So I don't know. I want a second opinion. But first, I need to get on my husband's insurance because I lost my insurance last year. So that is my lowest bar for this. Get on insurance and get back to therapy. I also really want to try to do a digital detox because I'm on my phone all the time and it's not good for me. I can feel my brain just rotting. So this is going to be a series of habits. There are some one and done things and projects. I guess it's a medley of things. And the people involved are me and my doctors. And the measurable, I'll have a better idea of triggers and pacing, and I'll feel generally better. So that's what it will look like when I know it's done. What resources do I need? I have everything I need to start. So is it realistic? So the hardest part is going to be consistency and follow through for me. With my health planner, the Muji planner that I set up this year, I already skipped almost all of March. I've been using my apps to track, but I haven't logged them in the planner. So there's a second question of, do I really need to log them in the planner or not? And so we're not sure yet. But that being said, I don't know that I'm going to be staying with the Visible app just because it's an added expense. And if I learn how to log these things in a journal or a planner or worksheets or something like that, at least I'll have some data aligned. Does this violate my boundaries? No. What values does this goal uphold? I actually said self-compassion, and I will not burn myself out, which is hard. So sustainable, we're looking for consistency. And I think perfectionism is going to be a big issue, and also setting up a routine because I'm really bad at that. And then my plan for rest and replenishment while I work on this goal is going to be the Happytizer menu. So that's nice. And then family and doctors are my accountability. All right, my top goal for home and environment is to develop a self-compassionate cleaning, tidying, decluttering routine. Why I want to do this: I should not inflict my disorder on my family and make them live like this, which it's very cluttered and messy. I'm ashamed of how my home looks and cringe when people come over. My daughter's getting to the age where she is going to be wanting to have friends come over from school, and I don't want anyone coming over that I don't know. So that needs to get fixed. Set your bar. What is the smallest thing you'll need to accomplish in order for you to feel satisfied with your progress? I said clean up the center room, which is the room that everyone passes through. I really need to get my daughter to go through her toys and donate a bunch of them, because there's just a lot of things that she doesn't play with. And it's also really small things that I don't know where to put. So they're just literally everywhere. We are going to be getting some new kitchen cabinets, which is going to be super nice. I'm excited about that. Top goal for alignment and self-expression: finish my fanfic whips by the end of the year and avoid starting new fics until current works are finished. For this, I basically just dumped all of my other projects and stuff that I wanted to do. So it's not necessarily breaking this down, but I just wanted to have everything dumped out. So my bar for this, my lowest bar, is I at least want to finish Your Ghost, or at least finish plotting it. Why I want to do this thing: I want to be able to move past perfectionism and just get these works out and make room for other projects. And then the reward, which I haven't been saying the rewards. My reward for completing this goal would be having a body of work and telling stories, which is what I want to do. Top goal for resources and contribution: make $5,000 this year and pay off debt. I might be setting my bar low, but I don't know. That feels high. So this is going to be a series of projects and habits. I'm basically using the same goals that I've set a number of years in a row and haven't gotten to: putting things on eBay or Mercari, and doing my budget workbook that needs to have illustrations, and I need to do more research, which I know it's like my Achilles heel is more research. I might have to get a job, but I won't be looking into that until my parents are all settled, because I have a child and summer will be coming up and I can only really work mother's hours and I don't want to work weekends. And I have chronic pain now. So I didn't have that when I was working before Callie was born. So trying to re-enter the workforce with physical limitations is going to be an issue, as well as the time scheduling limitations. But that's it. That's my reality. I also really want to get more things up in my Etsy shop, and I know I've said that a billion times. Next, top goal for practice is write, illustrate, and publish my budget workbook in order to broaden my offerings and move toward making a living from my work. Why do I want to do this? Because I'd like to help make budgeting fun for other people. Aside from that, I also have all these other things that I want to do. Back in 2019 or 2020, one of the first Happy Planner designs that I wanted to do was a gem planner, because I had supplies that I could use for that, but I never got around to doing it. And I think this year I want to try to do some one-of-a-kind gem planners with the deluxe covers as well. And then if they sit in my shop, that's going to be the way it is. I just have to figure out who's going to get a vertical spread, who's going to get a horizontal, and who's going to get a dashboard spread. Or do I want to make the Happy Planner spreads, or do I want to make the Memento Mori spreads? That's the other question. I don't know. Because if I do a Memento Mori thing, they won't be... God, I could do special edition Memento Mori Goal Planners for next year with gem. And it would be one gem, there's one Misfits, and one Stingers. And then in the big sizes, there would be two gem, or maybe one. I don't know. I haven't done these yet, but I'm dreaming out loud here. And obviously, I want to make next year's planners, because that's really important. I also want to query an agent, because I think I want to get this published, because I think I need help with getting it out to people and getting things ready. I might be making an hourly spread as well, making more work for myself, in other words. And so basically, I'm going to be working a lot and I'm scared. For the lowest bar for practice would be to finish writing the workbook part of the budget book. So don't worry about the illustrations or the actual planner layout, because I got stupidly stuck on what monthly calendar layout should I use for a budget thing. But as a whole, I need to get the 2026 planners out, especially if I'm going to be querying an agent, because I'm going to need something that would be, I don't know. I've never done this before, so I don't know. Top goal for play: get back into deeper, fictional, fun things to replenish the well. So we're talking about playing more games, reading more fiction, and watching more K-dramas and shows and all this other stuff. Why I want to do this thing, it's because fun is fuel. And then I made a note, I changed this section to be only things that refill the well and don't require my output. So basically stuff from the Happytizer menu is this. But I have specific things, and every item is going to be a project, and then habit is just to allow for these things to happen and make time for them. The lowest bar is going to be play Pathfinder. This is easy because it's already scheduled and there are other people who can act as accountability buddies. And so that's kind of baked in. I don't have to actually do anything except for show up. But the next lowest would be to catch up on my friends' fan fictions. I did take a much longer hiatus from the Discord that I had planned, and I put a bunch of their fan fictions on my TBR for the year. So I want to work through those and support my friends too. Top goal for curiosity and passion. A note for play, I'm saying this is where fiction is. And then for curiosity and passion, this is where nonfiction is. So I'm trying to make clearer definitions this year. I feel like every year my definitions for these things get a little bit clearer. So my top goal is to reconnect with my spirituality for my mental health, because I feel so disconnected from myself and my gods and from that sense of synchronicity and flow. So I have a number of courses that I want to get through, and a huge number of books that I also want to get through. This month, I listened to 2 audiobooks, or was that March? Whatever. I listened to 2 audiobooks very close together, and then that was fiction. And then I'm listening to a nonfiction book right now. And this might also be the year that I work through my Death Doula course, which I already mentioned. And the smallest bar for this is I want to at least finish the courses that I'm in the middle of, because I do have the tendency to start a course and take notes and then have to stop to do real life things, and then I never get back into it because it's that perfectionist thing. I can't just listen to the lecture. I have to take notes, and if I'm not in a place to take notes, then I can't listen, can't do it. I have to be able to take notes. It's just like one of those things. But what if I didn't have to? What if I didn't have to? What if I could just listen to the lecture, absorb it, and then go back to it again when I do have time to take notes? What if I do that? I don't know. But that's pretty much it. I think this was extremely long and annoying, and I've said this not every year, but I think I just want to do a TLDR for next year. If you have made it this far, drop a black heart emoji down in the comments. Commenting on my videos does help my algorithm, and I do actually want to try to get to 1,000 subscribers this year, because that would be very nice. I don't know if, that would really get me monetized or not, but if you have seen multiple of my videos and you are not subscribed, consider subscribing. That does help me out. I am just a solopreneur here. I am a solo creator. I have no team behind me. Every new subscriber that I get notified of, I thank them internally by name. Thank you for those of you who have subscribed. Give the video a like if you would be so kind. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Till next time.